Ay si Red, ang Petix leader ng Group 3. Pwede niyo siya tawagin Joshua Garcia kapag gusto niyo, magkamukha naman sila. Faithful din siya, at saka loyal, at higit sa lahat, man of his words. Next is Devine. Siya ang aking intellectual assistant leader, or ang aking kabady. You can call her Debbie or Deb. She loves to eat, and she can sleep for 1 day straight. Wow. Siyempre, di mawawala ang aking group secretary. Siya si Dayan. You can call her Kaka. Wala raw siyang talent sa pagluluto, pero marunong siya mag-drive ng car. Sana all. Siyempre, mawawala ba si John Russell? Ang pinakamalakas mag-arm wrestling sa Block 103 and 104. Siya ay galing pang San Pedro, Laguna. At ang role niya sa group namin ay Game Master. 18 years old na rin siya. Magaling siya mag-basketball at chess. Ito naman si Kate Arley. Pwede niyo siyang tawaging Arley na lang for short. Siya ang aming assistant Game Master. Overthinker siya and BL lover. At medyo prangka daw siya sa mga tao. Ito naman si Dada Andrew. You can call her Dana na lang for short. Siya ang aking video editor. Galingan mo ah. Mahilig daw siya gumastos. At lagi raw siya natutulog ng 3 AM ng madaling araw. Puyaters. Tumatawa-tawa lang daw siya sa mga combo kasi siya ay low-key lang. Siyempre, mawawala ba si Mimi? Ang aking assistant video editor. Nag-scoop daw siya ng cat poop. Ha? Cat poop? Bastos ata yun ah. Tone deep. Parang ang ulam kaya asintonado eh. D1 learner and also ay NBSB. Pero may GF counter siya, 2. Ang last but not the least is si Jericho. Siya ang aking technical assistant leader, aka tagaluto ng pansit canton. Alam niyo na kung kanino order ah. Chess player daw siya and ML player. Oo, malakas ata to. Malakas nga raw siya mag-asar.
Hello everyone. So today our group will be discussing and presenting chapter 3, which is skills for developing yourself as a leader. So, in our opinion, this is the more important chapters for leadership. Why? Because it shows the process of actually being a good leader. So, it means that you watching this and following this process could be a good leader yourself. So let us begin. How do you get and earn the aspect of leadership? Well, leadership involves skills, and skills that can be practiced and developed. It shows that every one of us can be a leader. From the person from your left to right can be a leader. You just need to have a persistence, be responsible, and have the dedication to lead them. Most people are less defensive about deficits in skills, which can be improved, than they are about suggested deficits in, say, personality. It shows that leadership values personality more than skills, because personality affects people, and affects their performance, their relationship, and the aspect on how we lead them. So in this chapter, we will talk about the first 90 days as a leader, learning from experience, building technical competence, building effective relationship with superiors and peers, and of course, development planning. So the first 90 days as a leader, this is the first process, and in my opinion, this is the most important but the most difficult process. Because this period is where you will adjust the most, you will encounter most of your problems, but this is where you can overcome these problems. And of course, this is the period that you will plan the future of your organization, the changes you have to do, and how to execute them, of course. But still, many people stumble during this critical time period. Why is that? Because people, or most of the leaders, lack determination, persistence, and can be easily hopeless. That's why being a leader is not a joke. It will test your attitude, your loyalty, and your patience to your organization in reaching the goal with your organization. That's why if you look at the successful leaders like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, and Elon Musk, they overcome this obstacle. And we can see how successful they become.
Before you start a job, preparation is key. Pre-hire data gathering. Take time to understand the dynamics of the company and its workforce. Post-hire activities. For your first week, think about what you want to learn, who you want to meet, and how you'll settle in smoothly. Make your first impression count on the first day. Meet your boss. Clarify expectations and priorities of your role. Understand what success looks like from their perspective. Meet your entire team. Start building relationships. Be approachable, listen actively, and show your leadership through openness and respect. Use the first 2 weeks to learn and connect. Meet team members. Learn their roles, strengths, and challenges. Meet peers. Connect with leaders in other departments and form partnerships that can support collaboration. Meet stars. Insights of top performers and influencers can guide and help strengthen your early decisions. Other meetings. Meet key stakeholders and business partners to broaden your understanding of the company's external relationships and objectives. Start shaping your strategy in the first 2 months. Obtain external perspectives. Analyze market trends, competitors, and customer needs to make informed decisions grounded in real-world data. Strategy, structure, and staffing. Shape the structure by choosing people fit to support business goals. Socialize decisions. Engage others in discussions before finalizing business decisions to reduce disagreement. Get feedback. Asking for feedback builds credibility and shows you're open to growth. The third month is the time to establish your leadership foundation. Establish culture. Clearly define the values you want to promote as a leader and align the team culture with those values. Team offsite to focus on values. Set the tone for behavior and decision making. Strategy. Align the team on your goals and direction. Operating rhythm. Define expectations around meetings, communication, and reporting. Improvement areas. Reflect on what's not working and how to improve it. Sub-team analysis. Review how smaller teams function and identify ways to better use their strengths. Candidates should gather information when preparing for an interview. Research the company thoroughly. Understand its values, culture, and goals to assess if it's the right fit for you. Use company sources. Review websites, reports, and press releases that give current and accurate information to help you prepare relevant questions and answers. Use social media platforms. Tools like LinkedIn and Facebook help you connect with current or former employees who can offer valuable insights. Making a first impression. Your first meeting with your boss is critical. It usually lasts about an hour. Discuss key topics like team objectives and priorities. Understand what the team is working towards and which projects are top priority. Strengths and weaknesses. Ask your boss how they view the team's performance to know which areas you can offer support and how you can be of value. Meeting schedules and communication. Discuss frequency of meetings and preferred way to share team updates to build clear and effective communication that works. Your short-term plan. Share what you're working on and what you plan to do next. This shows initiative and aligns your efforts with your boss's expectations. Making a lasting first impression. New hires should end discussions by arranging a follow-up meeting with their bosses to review progress and to ask whether weekly or monthly one-on-one meetings would be helpful. Schedule a time for follow-up meetings to review your progress and get feedback. One-on-one meetings show commitment to improving your work and desire to communicate. New leaders should also meet with their entire teams the first day of the job. When stepping into a leadership role, building an image of trust and approachability is crucial. Meeting with the team gives you a chance to relay your set expectations, vision for the team, and values you uphold.
For the first 2 weeks, this is where you lay your foundation. New leaders should meet people both inside and outside the team. It's essential for leaders to spend time building connections not only with their own team members, but also with colleagues across other departments. This lays the foundation for trust, collaboration, and long-term support. The key objectives for these meetings are 1. Learning as much as possible. During the first 2 weeks, it's important for a new leader to gain a clear picture on how the team works by identifying the team's roles and their respective strengths, potential weaknesses, and aspirations. Taking time to listen and observe and help them understand the team's overall role. The second key objective is developing relationships. This involves building trust and open communication by showing genuine interest in people in their team on both a professional and personal level. This also helps them establish as someone approachable and collaborative. And the last key objective is determining future allies. By identifying those who can provide them support, mentorship, and influence early on, they can build a network of trusted partners who they share the same goals with and collaborate with them for future initiatives. One-on-one meetings with key team members to provide the leader with answers to critical questions. What is a team member working on? This helps the leader know about the current priorities and projects of each member, as well as showing interest in the person's contributions and where they spend most of their time at work. Leaders can use the information they learn to identify potential areas where resources may need to be shifted. What are the team members' objectives? Learning both the short-term and long-term goals of each team member allows the leader to see how their personal objectives align with the broader goals of the team. By understanding these goals, it allows the leader to provide support and guidance tailored to each person's ambition. Who are the stars a level or 2 down in the organization? This helps leaders identify high-potential individuals in the team who may not yet be in leadership positions but show promise. Recognizing the stars early on allows the leader to invest in their growth and keep them engaged. These individuals can also serve as role models for the rest of the team. What are the people issues on the team? In every team, there are challenges, and through discussion, this allows team members to be open about their issues that may be affecting their work performance or personal morale. It also shows that the leader is willing to listen and tackle problems rather than putting them aside and ignoring it. By addressing problems and concerns within the team, this prevents issues from escalating much more further. What can the team do better? From gathering suggestions and feedbacks within the team, this allows opportunities for the leader to learn about areas for improvement that will make work easier, faster, and more effective. Team members may also have problems and solutions that are not the first thoughts of the leader, so every person's input is valuable. This can also make team members feel that their ideas are heard and acted upon, which boosts their motivation. And last, what advice do team members have for the new leader, and what can the new leader do to help team members? A new leader must not work alone and lead just based on what they think is best for them, without the input of the team members. By asking advice from the team, this helps the leader understand what kind of support they need the most. This shows that the leader is willing to be open, responsible, and build a proper relationship with the team. New leaders should minimize personal interactions with direct reports during the first 2 months on the job. It's important for leaders to step back when needed and observe rather than immediately trying to manage every detail. This prevents premature judgments and allows time to better understand the dynamics of the team. New leaders should discuss the following during meetings. 1. Their peers' objectives, challenges, team structure, and etc. Understanding the roles and difficulties of peers helps leaders see where their team fits within the bigger picture and how they can support and complement others' works. Their perspectives on what the new leader's teams does well and could do better. Asking for feedback helps leaders identify both strengths and weaknesses within the team. Peers may have input about things that those within the team may have overlooked. Their perspectives on the new leader's team members. Outside perspectives can help leaders form a more balanced view of the team beyond what they hear directly from reports. Peers can provide useful insights into a team member's reputation and work ethic, which will be of importance later on. How to best communicate with the boss. By asking peers on how to best engage with the boss, new leaders can adapt their approach early on and avoid miscommunication. Senior leaders tend to have their preferred style of communication, whether it's formal reports, quick updates, or detailed discussions. And last is how issues get raised and decisions made on their boss's team. Each organization has their own way on how to address problems and how to finalize decisions. By learning these unwritten rules, this helps new leaders work effectively within the system and avoid further complications. New leaders should make it clear that they want and appreciate their peers' help. They should schedule regular meetings with their peers to build relationships and help new leaders stay ahead of potential conflicts. While leaders should still have a sense of authority, they must acknowledge the value of peers early on to be open to partnership and collaboration. A good leader shows willingness to learn rather than trying to act as if they already know everything. Consistent communication prevents misunderstandings and also helps the leader stay aware of evolving priorities on other teams. And at last, new leaders should meet with their stars during the first 2 weeks on the job. Stars can provide ideas for improving team performance and are likely candidates for direct report positions should a new leader decide to change the structure of the team. Stars or high potential team members are often the strongest contributors with valuable insights into how the team operates. Their perspective is valuable for shaping the team's future direction. These individuals are often the best candidates for greater responsibility.
For the first 2 weeks, new leaders should try to meet with individuals who were once part of the team but have taken positions in their other parts of the organization. It is important because former team members can provide honest perspectives about the team's strengths and weaknesses. Their insights guide new leaders in making better decisions and building stronger relationships within the team. For the first 2 months, leaders should gather more information, determine the direction, and finalize the appropriate structure and staffing for the team for the next 6 weeks. Structure, this refers to how an organization or group is arranged. It shows the levels of authority, responsibilities, and how people or departments are connected. Staffing, this means providing the right people for the right jobs. In an organization, it involves hiring, training, assigning roles, and keeping workers motivated. The goal of staffing is to make sure the organization has enough skilled people to achieve its plans and goals. Benchmarking, this means comparing your organization's performance, processes, or products with the best practices of other organizations. The goal is to learn from others, find areas to improve, and reach higher standards. Tasks to be performed include gathering benchmarking information from other organizations, meeting with key external customers and suppliers, meeting with the former team leader if appropriate. These tasks need to be performed within the first 2 months because they provide the foundation for understanding the team's current position and opportunities for improvement. Gathering benchmarking information helps identify practices from other organizations that can be applied to strengthen performance. Meeting with the key external customers and suppliers ensures that relationships are maintained and their needs are understood early on. Talking with the former team leader, if appropriate, gives valuable insights about past challenges and successes, which can guide better decisions moving forward. For the first 2 months, new leaders need to be able to articulate where the team has been and where it needs to go over the next 1 to 3 years. New leaders should explain the team's past experiences and set clear goals for the next 1 to 3 years to give direction and purpose. Looking at where the team has been and where it needs to go in the next 1 to 3 years means reflecting on past experiences and setting clear goals for the future. This is important because it helps the team learn from the past successes or mistakes, while other also creating a clear direction that keeps everyone focused and motivated. Next is what the team needs to accomplish and what changes will be needed to make this happen. Leaders must state the tasks and objectives of the team and identify what improvements or adjustments are necessary to succeed. Next is their expectations for team members. Leaders should clearly communicate what they expect in terms of behavior, performance, and teamwork so members know how to contribute effectively. Knowing what the team needs to accomplish and what changes will be needed means setting specific goals and identifying adjustments required to achieve them. This is important because it allows the team to focus on priorities while being open to improvements that will support success. First 3 months, at this point, the leader should be articulating how the team will win. The leader should explain the plan and strategies that will lead the team to success. Articulating how the team will win means clearly explaining the strategies and actions that will lead to team to success. This is important because it gives members a shared vision and helps team understand their roles in reaching the goal. Next is identifying the what, why, and how of any need of changes. The leader should make clear what changes are needed, why are they important, and how they will be done. Identifying the what, why, and how of any needed changes means being clear about the needs to be changed, why the change is necessary, and how it will be carried out. This is important in the workplace because it prevents confusion and helps employees understand the purpose and process of improvements. Lastly is defining a clear set of expectations for team members. The leader should state clearly what is expected from each member in their work and behavior. Defining a clear set of expectations for team members means making sure that everyone understands their roles, responsibilities, and standards of performance. This is important because it builds accountability, reduces misunderstandings, and helps the team work more effectively toward shared goals. When expectations are clearly communicated, team members know how exactly what is required of them, which leads to greater focus, consistency, and overall productivity. Major events for the third month. Meet with the entire team. The leader should bring the whole team together to share updates and build unity. Meeting with the entire team helps everyone stay updated and feel included, which builds trust and teamwork. For example, a leader can call all members together to share progress on a project and let everyone ask questions. The leader should hold a meeting outside the usual workplace with key team members to discuss goals and strengthen relationships. Meeting offsite with direct reports allows for a more focused and relaxed discussion with key members. For example, the leader can invite them to a cafe to talk about new plans, solve problems, and build stronger working relationships.
Next is our key objectives of the offsite meeting. First is get agreement on the critical attributes and values of team members. A team is highly effective when all team members can agree on what is important in the way they behave, view, and value. This entails things such as respect, accountability, and adherence to the common goal. Next is create a team scorecard. A team scorecard is a document that indicates the performance of the team in regards in achieving its objectives. It links daily activities with the greater objective of the business, hence, everyone is aware of what success means. Next is establish an operating rhythm. An operating rhythm is merely a routine of how a team should work. It involves such elements as regular meetings, progress reports, and updates to keep everyone aligned. Last is establish task force to work on key change initiatives. A task force is a small specialized team formed to complete essential projects or to address issues. It unites individuals with various competencies to concentrate on a common priority. Next is learning from experience. Leadership practitioners can enhance the learning value of experiences by creating opportunities to get feedback. Receiving feedback, whether on a team, with mentors, professors, or supervisor, is a great way of getting an outside view on what you are doing well and what you need to improve. Frequent feedback enables you to make correction in time and not make the same mistake again. Next is taking a 10% stretch. Doing something that is slightly out of your comfort zone will challenge you, but not too much. The 10% stretch technique will drive you to acquire new skills, and it will make you more confident in adapting to the new situations. Next is learning from others. Learning and observing experienced leaders can help you to know more strategies and techniques that you might not acquire by yourself. It enables you to see how various strategies will behave in real life. You learn by example, and you acquire the knowledge that you can use to overcome obstacles in a better way. Next is keeping a journal of daily leadership events. Writing a journal about your day-to-day leadership experience can help you stop and think about what occurred each day. Reflecting on what worked and what difficulties you have encountered, you understand more about your actions and decisions and their consequences. This practice develops self-awareness since it will make you understand your patterns in behavior, what is good and can be continued, and what is bad and needs to be changed. Lastly is having a developmental plan. A developmental plan will serve as a guide on how to grow because it provides targets and measures progress. It also helps you to make your efforts purposeful so that they are related to what you are aiming to accomplish as a leader. Next is building technical competencies. Concerns the knowledge and repertoire of behavior one can utilize to complete a task successfully. This implies that you have the appropriate information and skill to perform a job expertly. Not only do they need to know what to do, but they also need to know how to implement it in practice. Technical competence enables an individual to feel sure in what they are doing and be able to adjust his or her approaches when it is necessary. In short, it is about knowledge and action coming together to give good results. Next is individuals usually acquire technical competence through formal education or training in specialized topics, on-the-job training, or experience. Technical skills may be acquired through school, workshops, or course-based learning on a specific subject. A lot of this competence is, however, achieved through experience of doing the job and learning through real-life circumstances. Experience can make people learn how to solve problems, which cannot always be learned in classrooms. This combination of learning and experience in the long term develops good expertise. Followers with technical competence earn better performance appraisal ratings, exert influence in their groups, and are more likely to be a member of a leader's in-group and their delegated tasks and asked to participate in decisions. Employees who are competent at their jobs tend to score better in their evaluations since they always give good outputs. They are also influential to fellow workers because others depend on their knowledge. These individuals are trusted more by the leaders and are consulted regarding important decisions and given bigger responsibilities. This brings in the chance of career enhancement and enhanced team building. Last is technical competence in leaders in related to improved managerial promotion rates, better training skills, lower rates of group conflicts, reduced level of role ambiguity, and higher motivation level among followers of leaders. Technically, competent leaders are better placed to be promoted since they demonstrate that they can manage demanding duties. They also do a better job in teaching and mentoring their teams, which helps everyone come up to a level. Their competence minimizes communication and arguments since they are able to give precise guidelines and address problems. This makes their team members feel motivated and confident with them. Now let us move on to the steps in building technical competence. First is determining how the job contributes to the overall success of the organization. Knowing your role fits into the broader goal of the company makes you aware of how important your work is to the company. When you understand the larger context, you are able to prioritize accordingly. This also helps you in making the right decision in honing certain skills. When you work in the line objectives of the company, the more value you will bring to the team and to the company. Next and last is evaluate one's current level of technical skills by seeking verbal feedback from peers and superiors, reviewing past performance appraisal results, and reviewing objective performance. To get an understanding where you are in the process, you can get feedback from peers and supervisors. Look back at previous performance appraisals or evaluate objective data such as project performance.
So now let's proceed with building technical competence. Becoming an expert in one's field can further an individual's developmental opportunities. So here are ways to become an expert in one's own field. First is enrolling in formal educations and training programs. So to simplify this, there's a quote that said, "Give a person a fish and you feed them for a day," or "Teach a person to fish and you feed them for a lifetime." So this quote just simply said that when you teach someone, you're giving them something that no one can take, their skills. And that skill is something that they can use in their everyday life. Next is watching others. So watching others improves your observation skills because when watching other people, it allows you to listen with more than just your ears because it helps you analyze the situation better. Third is asking questions. So according to the Oxford Open Learning, asking questions is one way to attain knowledge and improve a person's problem-solving skills. It also helps a person identify whether there's a gap in the person's understanding of the topic. So for example, a student asking questions to their prof after a discussion about the topic that they didn't fully get or understand. And then lastly is teaching others. So teaching others has a lot of benefits. First is it reinforces knowledge because explaining concepts to someone requires a deep level of comprehension. So it encourages teachers to review and clarify their knowledge. This also helps strengthen their understanding and helps them retain information more effectively. Next, teaching others improve communication skills because we all know that teaching involves a lot of talking and speaking, and it helps the teacher be more eloquent, clear, and concise when they are communicating. And then lastly, when teaching other people, it helps you develop your leadership skills Because in the role of educators, individuals take on leadership responsibilities, guiding learners and facilitating their growth. This experience contributes to the development of leadership skills that can be valuable in various professional and personal settings. So now let's proceed with the advantages of having a good working relationship with your superiors. So superiors and followers sharing the same values, approaches, and attitudes will first experience less conflict. Because when both sides have similar values, there will be fewer misunderstandings, making decisions a lot more easier to agree on. With this will help the collaboration smoother and better. Next, it provides higher level of mutual respect. So, having a great relationship fosters support, trust, and respect. For example, a superior will support their employees, and their employees will do the same thing with their superiors. This helps both sides succeed in their own respective position. And then lastly is be more satisfied with superior and follower relationships. So now let's proceed with building effective relationships with superiors. So in order to understand the superior's world better, followers should first understand the superior's personal and organizational objectives, because knowing their objectives and being in the same boat reduces conflict, since both sides feels like they're working towards a common objective. So for example, a manager's goal is to improve your store sales for this month. So in here, the employees must also have the same goal to deliver the work properly with less conflict and good outcome. So number 2, realize that superiors do not have all the answers and have both strengths and weaknesses. So employees must remember that their superiors are human too. So they should avoid having too much unrealistic expectations. They are maybe capable and qualified for the position they have, but let's not forget that no one is perfect. So if they're struggling, the things you can do is offer help. Lastly, keep the superior informed about various activities in work group or new developments or opportunities in the field, since informing them will prevent misunderstanding that can cause a problem in the company. Also, keeping them updated will also help them make an important decision if necessary. So for example, a tech informs a manager about a new software that could improve their efficiency with their work. So still under building effective relationships with superiors, requires followers to adapt to their superior style by first clarifying expectations about their role in their team, committee, or work group. So in here, employees should clearly know and understand their roles in the company, because it helps avoid confusion and reduce the chance to make mistakes over their responsibilities. So next is listing major responsibilities and using the list to guide discussions with superiors about different ways to accomplish tasks and relative priorities of the task. So organizing and creating a list gives you a guide of the task that was given to you. By this, it can help you focus on your topmost priority and comply with the deadline that was given to you. For example, before a one-on-one meeting, an employee prepares a list of their tasks and uses it to confirm priorities with their supervisors. So third and last is being honest and dependable. So as I've said earlier, trust is really important because trust is the foundation of any strong relationship. That's why gaining it is a must. When we say dependable naman, being dependable is being someone who is responsible, consistent, and reliable when they are given a task. Also, if ever that they made a mistake or committed a mistake, admit it. Admit it and be accountable for what you did. So, an example of being honest and dependable is when a employee admits to a mistake in a report but also presents a corrected version of it, showing both honesty and accountability.
Building effective relationships with peers. Research says that one key requirement of leadership effectiveness is being able to build strong alliances with others. In short, a good leader also needs to know how to work well with other people around them. According to Gallup, employees who have strong peer relationships at work are more engaged and productive. That's why we should always be open and maintain a good relationship with others, because it helps us collaborate better, finish tasks faster, and even enjoy what we're doing. If there's no good relationship among our peers, what happens? Well, teamwork will be hard, people won't trust each other, and it can lead to conflicts or unfinished work. So, to achieve a good relationships with peers, here are some ways we need to remember. First, recognizing common interests and goals. This means finding something we both or we all care about, or what do we want to achieve, and working it together. Here, when we recognize our common goals, it's easier for us to work as a team instead of being rivals. Example, two classmates both want to pass a very difficult subject like accounting. Instead of studying alone, they form a study group. They review together, share notes, and quiz each other before exams. Because they both wanted the same result, which is to pass the subject. They support one another. In that way, their bond becomes stronger. Another example in sports. If everyone in a volleyball team wants to win the championship, they don't just focus on individual scores. Instead, they play as a team, just like simply cheering for each other and celebrating small victories. That shared goal creates a stronger relationship among teammates. Second, understanding peers, tasks, problems, and rewards. We need to put ourselves in our peers' shoes. This means being more considerate and empathetic. Everyone has responsibilities, challenges, or works in achieving our goals we hope to achieve. And if we understand that, we can cooperate better. For example, in a group project, one member was always late in submitting their part. At first, the others thought that this person was simply lazy. But after asking, they discovered that their member was also working part-time job to support his or her family. Instead of getting angry, the group adjusted the schedule so the member could still contribute without being left out. This showed that they understood the person's situation. Practicing a theory Y attitude. But what is theory Y attitude? According to Douglas MacGregor, theory Y is from his theory of motivation. It's the idea that people are naturally motivated, responsible, and capable of self-direction if they are given the right environment. For example, in a group presentation, instead of thinking my groupmates won't do their part unless I force them, a theory Y leader would say, I believe my groupmates are capable, so I'll just guide them and give them freedom to show their strengths. For example, one person may be good at design, another at research, and another at speaking. Trusting each one to do their part usually leads to a better output. Development planning. It is a systematic process of building knowledge and experiences or changing behavior. Development planning is about improving ourselves step by step so that we can grow in skills, attitude, and even in how we handle responsibilities. It's a cycle of growth that helps us become better students, workers, and even leaders. According to Peterson and Hicks, there are 5 interrelated phases in development planning. Number 1, identifying development needs. This is the first step where we ask, what do I need to improve, or what skills do I need to learn? For example, a student notices they always get nervous during oral recitations. So in this phase, he or she would ask him or herself, what do I need to improve, or what do I need to learn to cope with this? Basically, to build self-confidence in public speaking. Number 2, analyzing data to identify and prioritize development needs. Here, gather information to see which needs are the most important. We can ask for feedback from teachers, mentors, or peers, or even review our own past performance. Example, the student asks their prof for feedback and realizes that while their written answers are usually correct, their lack of confidence in speaking affects their overall grades. So, they prioritize public speaking over other skills like writing or drawing. Number 3, using prioritized development needs to create a focused and achievable development plan. Once you know what's most important, make a clear plan with specific steps. For example, the student decides to join a school club that trains in public speaking like the debate team. They also plan to practice short speeches in front of friends or family at least twice a week. Number 4, periodically reviewing the plan, reflecting on learning and modifying or updating the plan as appropriate. This means you don't just stick to one plan forever. You check your progress and make changes if needed. For example, after a month, the student reviews their progress. They notice they are less nervous in front of friends but still feel uneasy during class recitations. So, they adjust their plan by asking their teacher to give them more opportunities to recite in class to practice in a real setting. Simply, this would be your plan B when plan A fails. Number 5, transferring learning to new environments. The final phase is applying what you learned, not just in one situation but in different areas of life. For example, a student who became confident in class presentations can now use that same skill to lead group projects, join debates, or even speak at school events. The student, now more confident in speaking, volunteers to a host school event and even speaks during a family gathering. This shows that the skill of public speaking can be applied beyond the classroom. Conducting a gaps analysis. But what's gaps? GAP stands for Goals, Abilities, Perceptions, and Standards. It helps us check where we are now versus where we want to be in the future. By doing this, we can clearly see what areas we need to improve on. Let's go through the steps one by one. First is goals. Identifying career goals. This is where we ask ourselves, what do I want to achieve in the future? Having clear career goals helps us focus our development. Number 2, abilities. Identifying strengths and development needs related to the career goals. Compare what skills we already have with what skills we still need to reach those goals. Perceptions. Determining how one's abilities, skills, and behaviors are perceived by others. Feedback from teachers, mentors, supervisors, or peers helps us understand how others see our abilities. Use the 360 feedback instrument. It means gathering feedback from all around you to evaluate your performance, usually in the workplace, not just from your boss, but also from your peers, your team members, and even sometimes from yourself. Number 4, standards. Determining the standards one's boss or organization has for one's career objectives. It's also important to know what expectations your organization or leader has for the role you want to achieve. To distinguish these four, goal is what you want to achieve in your career. Abilities, the skills and strengths you already have. Perceptions is how others see you, and standards is what the organization or environment requires for success. Now, when conducting a gaps analysis, there are 3 main activities that a person should do. Number 1, review the information from the gaps model. This means going back to your goals, abilities, perceptions, and standards to see where you stand right now and where you want to go. Number 2, look for underlying themes and patterns. After reviewing, you need to connect the dots. For example, you might notice that both your abilities and other people's perceptions show that you're good at communication, but you may lack technical skills. Identifying these patterns helps you see your strengths and weaknesses clearly. And last, determine what behaviors, knowledge, experiences, or skills will be the most important to change or develop. This is the action step. Once you know the gaps, you need to decide which areas to improve, whether it's gaining new knowledge, practicing new behaviors, or developing more experiences to align with your career goals.
Bridging the gaps, building a development plan 1. Following are the steps for developing a high-impact development plan. Working on career and development objectives. Working on career and development objectives means setting goals, identifying needed skills, and planning steps to learn more. It helps you stay focused, stay in progress, and achieve long-term professional success. Determining the criteria for success. Determining the criteria for success means clearly defining what achievements looks like. It helps you measure progress, good results, and stay focused on meaningful goals throughout your personal or professional growth journey. Determining action steps. Determining action steps means turning your goals into clear, organized tasks. These steps guide your daily efforts, making progress easier to track and helping you stay focused on achieving your objectives. Deciding whom to involve and reassessing dates. These steps means choosing the right people to support your development, like mentors or teammates, and regularly checking your progress and new insight. Stretching assignments. Stretching assignments are challenging tasks that push individuals beyond their comfort zones, helping them grow new skills, gain confidence, and prepare for greater responsibilities. Using various resources. Using various resources means looking into different tools like books, data, mentors, and feedback. This kind of thing improves your learning, help you gain new skills, and support your overall development effectively. Reflecting the knowledge with a partner. Reflecting knowledge with a partner means discussing what you've learned with someone else. This helps you to deeply understand, gain new perspective, and reinforce learning through the shared feedback and meaningful conversations. Bridging the gaps. Building a development plan 2. Reflecting on learning. Help leaders analyze whether the final destination is still the right one. If an alternative route might be better, whether there is a need for more resources or equipment. This helps leaders regularly estimate if their goals are still appropriate, consider better options, and determine if other resources or tools are needed to successfully reach their desired outcomes. Involves periodically reviewing one progress with one boss. This means regularly meeting with your supervisor to discuss how you're doing. It helps you get feedback, adjust what's wrong, and stay on track with your development plan. Transferring learning to new environment. The development plan should be changed, modified, or updated as you learn from your experiences, receive feedback, acquire new skills, and meet targeted development needs. A development plan isn't fixed. It should be regularly updated based on new experiences, feedback, and new skill you have learned to make sure it continues to meet your growth and learning needs effectively. Summary. The first 3 months are important for leaders because they allow smooth transition, help create inspiring vision for the future, and go for the positive changes in the whole team. A leader's performance depends a lot on their technical skills, but having a good relationship with your leader also plays a big role in a people who connect well with their supervisor often become trusted team members. Effective leadership requires building strong connection with others to work well together. Development planning is a step-by-step process focused on learning new knowledge, skills, and changing behaviors to improve leadership effectiveness over time.